We have a project emergency, okay? We have to do this right away. This is getting booked up from other projects that need to be desperately done. Listen, I stumbled upon this beautiful sewing pattern from Etsy, and it's just honestly a love at first sight. I stumbled upon it a couple weeks ago, but knowing me and my sewing, I should have honestly made this top 3 months ago before I even saw it because I want to wear it as much as possible for the summer. So this has to be top priority, baby. Let's get to it. But first, we have to do a mock-up because I am actually going to make some tweaks to this pattern just to fit more my lifestyle. The low back is a little bit too low for more of my casual lifestyle that I like. Also, these sleeves are a bit too long. I want them to be a bit shorter. So let's get to drafting and fix those problems, and then we'll get to the mock-up in hopes that it'll work. Oops, I forgot to film myself modifying the pattern. Sorry. Okay, sorry for this like weird disheveled look. I have an undershirt. I just was too lazy to take it off. I don't care. It's like almost 11. I don't care. But here is the look. I think the dart lines are supposed to go up a little bit higher. I'm going to have to look at her Instagram. She has like a little like Q&A type of thing for this particular design. But the modifications, like the lower back is actually really nice. In fact, it's a lot higher than I was expecting it to be. And I shortened the sleeves and they're still like hecka long. Like they are way short or really long. I do know that you do a elastic channeling, I think is what it's called. So it'll have some nice like floofiness. So I might have to shorten the sleeves a bit more. But so far, this is pretty good.
The next day.
Okay, there's a stain right in the middle of this, but this is the second mock-up and it turned out so well. I just basically added a centimeter on the back side and the panel where you connect the two backs together, and that did wonderfully. So that gives me confidence to do it for the real one. I ironed the crap out of this project because everyone and their mom was saying it would look more professional, and I truly wanted this project to shine. I am still having moments of terror to cut into my fabric, even though I have done 2 mock-ups. I am still apprehensive as ever. Another thing is that just dawned on me is my sleeves, if they need to be mirrored or not. So I just spent the last like 40 minutes trying to analyze everything that's in the instructions, and I cannot make heads or tails if the sleeves are mirrored. It doesn't say anywhere. So I actually just messaged the Etsy seller in hopes that she can get back to me. Obviously, it's like past 10 and I think she's in Europe somewhere. I don't know where, but so obviously she's not going to get back to me, which is totally understandable. I'm not going to like flank her for that because, bro, I chose to sew this in the night. But I'm kind of teetering between just waiting until I hear back from her or just starting to cut out the pattern pieces that I do know the placements of, and then just start sewing little bits by little bit. Okay, it is the next day, but I sent that message at 9:44 last night. She got back to me in 2 hours. I am forever blown away. And she actually gave me more tips in the reply than I was expecting. So I thought I would share them with you because I thought it was really, really helpful, especially as a beginner standpoint. She said the way that if you need to tell if a sleeve needs to be mirrored or if you just need to repeat the same exact pattern is if you fold it in half, and if everything lines up, then you don't have to worry about mirroring. However, if it doesn't match up, if the notches aren't in the same place or anything like that, then you do have to mirror everything. And even on the instructions, you can see it says cut 2 times, which will actually mean to cut to the exact same way. Whereas if you say cut 1 pair, that means you're supposed to mirror, like their gloves. And then she says that with this pattern you do need a mirror. But I just thought it was so cool that she went above and beyond what I had asked her and to break it down for me to have this for the future. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to get this started. So we are going to get everything cut up. So let's get to it. I loved this pattern. It comes together so fast. I do think the tricky part is the cutaway darts. It might also be called French darts. However, I have never sewn in darts before, so that totally could be on me, but I did finagle it. I seriously underestimated the power of sewing clips. They are so freaking fantastic, especially where I'm sewing in common areas. I don't have to worry about dropping them on the ground and having my feet find them later. Huge lifesaver. Okay guys, we finished the waist ties, which I am so ecstatic. I almost wonder if I cut the wrong size, but I don't know. I think it'll be fun to have bigger waist ties anyway. I'm going to iron this just to give it a nice good pressing. And then I might also zigzag stitch everything just to finish the seams a bit better because this fabric does fray a lot. Okay, so we're going to be making bias tape, and I saw a fun little hack on how to cut bias tape, though I don't have a lot of this heart-shaped fabric, so we're going to have to wing it. I'm thinking if I cut these into squares and then do a 45 angle on them and then cut it that way and then just patch them all together, so we'll see. With sewing the sleeves, I wanted to make sure that everything matched up because I did not want to run the risk of unpicking and re-sewing and potentially damaging / warping the fabric. So I really took my time with this. So here it is. The sleeves are super cute. The ties are a bit long, but I'm thinking once I put on the peplum or the skirt portion of this top, it will balance it out a bit better. Anyway, but it fits really nice. It's really comfy. The back, really fun. I'll do a nice little, I'm really impressed with these sleeves, but I basically zigzag stitched all of the seams so it can be properly finished, or finished to the best of my abilities. Anyways, my hair is crazy, but I'm gonna go to bed. It's 10:30. I'll probably wake up in the morning and get this done. You know what? I'm gonna clean up the kitchen too right now. So cleaning up the kitchen and then I will go to bed. But so far, I'm really, really happy and impressed. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Oh my goodness, did I actually create something that I adore? Oh my goodness, I am so in love with this. I think it's so cute. I feel very whimsical and girly. If you could tell, I'm wearing like this butterfly headband. I felt the vibe, but I adore this. With the pattern, I want to do a little quick synopsis, even though I know I have mentioned it in the voiceover about the pattern, but I really do enjoy this. I think what would really set it over the edge is to actually have a video of it, how it's being sewn and stuff. And on her website, she actually does have blog posts on different modifications you could potentially do with this particular top. And I think it's great. Even on her Instagram, she does little clips of her cutting out it, and not necessarily of it being sewn or going more in detail with it. So I know it's potentially possible, but yeah, I think it would be amazing. I'm more of a visual learner, but I really prefer videos because I can see it and hear it at the same time. Her instructions were really good, and it also had pictures, but I definitely think there were some moments of confusion, which I did, send her an email, and she responded so well to me. So I think it was great. This particular top, it's actually supposed to be more pointed, and I did struggle with that. So I think next time I'm going to have a wider place to be more conscious of and remember to pivot at certain points just to keep that angle a little bit cleaner and sharper, because right now it's just a bit more rounded. And let's also talk about the fabric, because this fabric, I was so intimidated because it is rayon and linen, which I have heard horror stories about both of them, and it to be a blend, I was definitely scared out of my freaking mind. I did 2 mock-ups. I bought a bunch of new stuff. I bought rotary blades. I bought sewing clips to help make sure I'm not going to damage the lightweight fabric. I also changed out my sewing needles. I laid out the pattern pieces like 3 or 4 times, trying to get a good understanding on how much fabric I'll actually have left over, where they need to go, and I took mental notes on everything. I was really, really prepared, and I think that was great for me. Honestly, to my best surprise, both fabrics worked really well. I was able to cut well. Well, okay, cutting was another story, but sewing it together was marvelous. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, it gives me a lot of confidence to potentially buy more rayon linen blends because they're very soft. I love the feel of them. They're lightweight, and cutting into it and sewing it is a bit nicer than I thought they would be. So would definitely get this fabric again. But anyways, I'm so freaking pleased. I love this. I really want to make more, maybe even in the dress form. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye.